Hi, I'm Hannah from eBay UK, and today we're going to be talking about top tips for selling on eBay. So, joining me for this video, we have Nic and Andrea, who are really experienced eBay sellers and also run a really popular YouTube channel for people who are reselling on eBay. So, hello and welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Hannah. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So, for people that don't know you, could you just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. Shall I start?
You can.
We are full-time resellers. We buy up stock from wherever we can get hold of it, really, and we sell it online. And we've been doing this as a full-time income for a long time, since 2002.
Yeah, we started when our daughter was born. She's 17, so
yeah,
17 years we've been doing this.
So over the years, we've also had retail outlets running alongside our online business, and now we just work from home, selling online. So yeah, that's stuff. And we have a YouTube channel where we talk about what we do, how we earn a living, and the sort of stuff we pick up, where we pick it up from, and all of that stuff we chat about on YouTube.
Great. Okay. Well, we can put a link to your channel in the description, but I know you've each got some really good tips. I think, Andrea, we're going to hear from you first, aren't we?
Yes. Well, I predominantly pick up and sell clothing, so I just thought I'd use that as an example. And my tip is to research. It's about familiarizing yourself with your product. So by that I mean spending some time researching your product, looking at sold listings, completed listings on eBay, looking at what sells for the most, looking at brands that are popular, and yeah, so
So you mentioned there looking at what's sold and what's completed. Now, I know most people who've been selling on eBay know exactly where to find that, but for anybody who's starting out, can you just explain where you get to that?
Yeah, so I think it's in the bar on the left-hand side. There is a little button that you can click to sort or to filter what you're looking for, your search, by completed or sold listings. So when I'm researching prices for something, I would generally filter by sold listings and have a look, see what's sold, and look at the prices that particular item or something like it has sold for.
Yeah, I think that's a really good tip, because what I do when I speak to a lot of people who are starting out on eBay and they're not quite sure how to price things, they can see the same item listed for quite a range of different prices. And it can get people's hopes up about how much it could sell for. So I think this tip's really useful to know what people are asking for and then comparing it to what people are actually selling for.
Yeah.
And you can also see on that feature if it's gone for a best offer price as well.
Yeah.
So and you can see how frequently things are selling.
Yeah, exactly. And I would use it for if I'm sourcing, if I'm out and about and I see a brand that I'm not particularly familiar with, I would use it for that. I quickly look on my phone, but I also use it before I list something, or sometimes even just if I'm researching. So if I'm looking for sourcing ideas, I would use that. There's also another really good tool for researching within eBay, which is if you have your seller hub open, you go to growth, and there is it sourcing opportunities, or I think it's sourcing opportunities, and then you can search and you can look to see what brands are the most popular and what's selling the most at the moment on eBay. You can also look at things like trends, colors. You can sort anything. So not just for clothing, but for anything that you're selling, you can look at sourcing opportunities in your growth tab. And I use that quite a lot as well.
Yeah, I think that that trend graph where it shows when it's peaking and troughing through the years, I think that's also helpful for anybody who's seeing some ups and downs in their sales numbers from month to month, to see whether it's actually quite normal for that product. There'll be certain things like clothing that you'll know, well, shorts and t-shirts are going to be big in the summer months, but hey, in the UK, sometimes the summer months aren't always the warm ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, really good tips there. So when you're looking at the listings yourself, the individual ones, what kind of things are you looking for apart from price?
Looking for something like a style that is popular at the moment. So yeah, I mean, I do look within eBay for that sort of thing, but also you can look at fashion bloggers online and look in magazines, that kind of thing. So just keeping your eye on the ball and knowing what people are looking for and what people are wanting to buy right now.
Great.
Really what I use when I do the same sort of thing when I'm researching my products. And when I'm doing that, I'm picking up keywords that other people are using. And then when I get their completed listing results, find a bunch that's sold, and you think, what are they doing differently to the ones that didn't sell?
Yeah.
And that's a great way to pick up on keywords that you might not have thought about.
Yeah.
And then using those.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a great
looking
tip.
at how other people list as well.
Yeah.
How when you search by sold and completed, do highest price, and then see how somebody's listed that, what keywords they've used and how they've described it.
Yeah, and it can be something as simple as jumper or sweater, can't it?
Yeah, it can be. But,
yeah, there's sometimes keywords that other people have used. Yeah, they're fantastic. And there's nothing wrong with borrowing those and putting them in.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I do that all the time.
It's all research. So I think the top takeaway there, Andrea, is really do your homework, use the tools that are available to you. And the beauty of having the sold filter on it is you can use it on your phone. So when you're out and about, you can have a sneaky look.
Yeah, and have a look at your seller hub and see what you can use to help you out.
Great. So over to you now, Nick. I think you've got some quite different tips for selling on eBay.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about packaging, postage and packaging. I know it's not the most glamorous side of selling, but if you're new to eBay and you're thinking that I'm going to really get into this and give it a go, and you list a load of stuff, you've got to be prepared for the fact that it's going to sell, and then somehow you've got to get it to your buyer. And packaging is so important, and being prepared. So I'm talking about having the right packaging supplies available. If you're just starting out, thinking about getting hold of boxes, poly mailers, jiffy bags, all of that stuff. Because the worst thing, and I think we've all been there, is you sell something and you're not prepared to pack it. You don't have the right supplies, and that can be a real issue. And relating that more to established business sellers coming into, for us, for a lot of what I do, it's seasonal. So a lot of toys and games, we see a huge spike in November, December. And if we're not prepared and we don't have enough packing supplies, you can really get yourself in a pickle if you just are not prepared to ship out the stuff and buying up packaging in advance. Also, because I tend to list and sell all sorts of stuff. Like you said, you sold a wicker.
Yeah,
one of your sales,
wicker
actually,
chair.
A wicker chair. So I tend to have a complete range of boxes in stock at any given time. We have quite a large inventory and we don't know when stuff's going to sell. So I would say a big tip particularly is just have a complete range of size of boxes for stuff. If, like me, you sell all sorts of sizes and shapes of stuff.
Yeah, and I suppose it's really important to do that so that you're not losing a day while you go out and buy supplies. You want to be able to pick the item, pack it, and get it out the door the same day, ideally.
Absolutely. You don't want to lose time rushing around to supermarkets trying to pick up a box, or, like you say, having to buy a box specifically for an item.
Yeah.
What I tend to do is I've a couple of local courier drop-off shops. I've got to know them in there. They save me packaging. The local post office know me. They save me packaging stuff. So I've got a constant supply of it for free, which is fantastic. We also do buy certain boxes and obviously jiffy bags and poly mailers. But yeah, I think it is really important to just be prepared with that. And the other side of this is, particularly if you're new to eBay and you start listing stuff, is to know exactly how much it's going to cost you to get the item to the buyer. So being prepared before you list your item, do your research, find out how much it's going to cost for the specific size of the item as well as the weight through Royal Mail, because they have different size limits. So research that. All the information is online, or pop into your local post office. They should be able to give you a size guide, so you can learn that in advance. I think that's really important. And I remember when we started out, we fell foul of underquoting on postage. and ending up paying way more than we expected because we didn't do our research, and losing a great chunk out of our margin when we sold.
Especially if you're selling something with free postage, you need to know how much that's coming out of your margins. So,
well, either way, be prepared whether you're building it into your price or you're adding it on.
Exactly.
Knowing exactly how much, and then that can get slightly more complicated talking about international post, but all the information is there online. So I would say, spend some time sitting down, working it out before you list the item. Don't just make up a sort of what you think might cover it and then get that nasty shock when you go to the post office or book the courier that it's, a lot more than you expected. One thing, I mean, I don't always pack most of the time I don't package my item before it sells. So knowing the exact size of the box, especially if it's a larger item, can be tricky.
It can be.
If you're trying to put the dimensions in for GSP. But yeah, it's definitely worth thinking about. I use a mixture of GSP and my own international post. But I found GSP has been fantastic.
Yeah.
I use that a lot.
Like that.
Great. And you sell a wide range of items. Some presumably are quite fragile. Any tips for packing really fragile items?
Pack it as much as you think you should and then add a load more. Because you have to assume that the courier or the Royal Mail aren't going to handle it with as much care as perhaps you would. They don't know what's in it for a start, and they're not invested in it. And things do get thrown around, things do get dropped. So a good friend of ours who does YouTube, Zahir, made a great video where he was packaging up something fragile, and he said, I'm not happy to hand this over to a courier until I'm happy to kick it around the office. So be prepared to treat your item roughly, and if you're happy to do that, then it should make its way through the postal system. Yeah,
so over package really.
Over package if you can,
We recently sold a set of plates to somebody in Russia, and you bubble wrapped and wrapped them in cardboard individually. And then kind of floated them in a box, didn't you, and packaged all around it. And double walled it. So
the key with fragile things and ceramics, unfortunately, one of our viewers actually kindly sent us a mug recently. And there was very little space between the mug and the outside of the packaging, almost none, and it smashed. The key with packaging fragile things is, if you think about a car with a crumple zone, that's what you need. You need plenty of gap between the packaging and the fragile item. So if it is hit, the item itself doesn't absorb that, the packaging does. So loosely surround it with punched up newspaper is a really good one, or wallpaper I pick that whenever just as void fill. And then the item inside is cushioned, so it's not going to take the impact. So when we sent these plates to Russia, like you say, I individually bubble wrapped them, individually wrapped them in cardboard, and then suspended them in a larger box. So there was a little bit of give, so they won't take that impact, which when they predictably will be dropped at some point between here and Russia. So fingers crossed they're going to arrive. So that was a £120 sale. I'm a little bit nervous about that one.
Well, there's so many great tips there in what you've both just shared. I think the theme that I take away from this is just be prepared. Make sure that you're thinking ahead about what you're buying, also how you're going to package it and how much you're going to charge for it. So thank you both. Really fantastic tips there. I'll put the link to your channel in the description. So if people like what they see and they'd like to follow you and see some more about your journey of selling on eBay, they can do that. But thank you once again. That was great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Hannah.
Find out when new tips are published, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and click the bell icon to enable notifications. YouTube will let you know as soon as new videos are available.